everyone. So this video is the second part of the video wherein I have explained graphical user interface. So this video, we are going to see how to dynamically change the text on the label, and we're going to also see the radio buttons. Now, this is what we had seen in the last video. So for example, if I will run this code, it was like this, and let's say I'll say enter the distance in kilometer as 34, calculate, and it is displaying it in a new window. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is instead of displaying it in the main window, we will display it in the, instead of displaying it in the separate window, we're going to display it in the same window. Okay, the result will be displayed in the same window. And how to do that? That is what we're going to see in this video. Okay, so I'm gonna close this one first. Okay, so the way you do it is herein, if you'll see, herein, I have created one label. Okay, like I have created labels, I have created entry box and buttons. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create one more label whose text I'm gonna change dynamically. Okay, what that mean is, let's see. Okay, so I have a label, I have an entry button, and after the entry field, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more label. Okay, and I'm going to say self dot, I'm going to name it as label 2, or I'm just going to name it as result. Okay, result equals to tick enter dot label. Okay, where do you want to place it? The place where you want to place it will be the first argument in this parentheses. So self main underscore window, comma, I'm going to put some text on it. So let's say text is result. Okay, I'm going to change the font. I'm going to keep the font same as others. So let's take it down. Okay, and now to dynamically change the label, we want a variable wherein we are going to put the new value of the label. Okay, so this result will be replaced with a new value. So for that, we create a variable called as text variable. Okay, we name it as text variable. Okay, then you have to create some variable to store that. To do that, herein we create a variable, and I'm going to name that variable as, I'm going to say self dot text underscore result. Okay, you can name it as any variable, but what you have to be mindful of, you're going to create a string variable. Why I'm creating a string variable? Because I'm just saying that it will store a result inside a string. Okay, so we create a string variable. You can create an integer or a double variable as well. I'm just creating a string variable. Now here and in this text variable, when you create a label, I'm gonna put in this text variable the name of this, okay, the variable that I have created. So I'm gonna say self dot text underscore result. Okay, let me, okay, like this. So again, what I did is I created a label. Initially, it is going to display some result, okay? But when it is dynamically storing some value, I'm gonna put it inside a variable called as a text variable, okay? And for that, I have created this variable text result, okay? Now, how do you dynamically set this value? Now, if you'll remember when I use this convert function, what did I wrote? I created a variable to get the input from the entry, that is from the text field. I converted into a float, I calculated miles, and then I put it into the message box. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is, instead of putting it in the message box, I'm going to just comment this, and I'm going to say this variable that I have created, okay, this variable, I'm going to set a value of miles inside it. So I'm going to say here text result, right? self dot text underscore result dot set. Okay, dot set. And what do you want to put it inside? Okay, so I want to put the value of miles inside it. Okay, so I'm gonna say, well, because we are using a variable here, let me see first. Okay, so I'm gonna set it with miles. Okay, now this is a string variable, and miles, the value of the miles is not a string, right? It's a double value. So let me convert it into a string value. Okay, and let's check. So I'm gonna see first. Okay, now one more thing that I forgot to do is when I create that variable, I did not placed it properly. So I'm gonna place it. I'm gonna say self dot result. Okay, how about placing it below the button? So I created a button here. Let me put all these things below the button over here. Okay, so I'm gonna say self dot result dot grid. Okay, and I'm gonna say column equals to column equals to 1. You can change these values later as well, right? So my button is in row 2 and I'm going to put it in row 3. I'm going to say pad x is equals to 10, pad y equals to 10. I'm going to say sticky equals to tick into dot east. Okay, and let's see whether it works or not. So I'm going to run this code. And I'm gonna say 2 kilometers. I'm gonna click on calculate and see it is printing like this, right? So 2 kilometers is 1.2428. Now I want to print it properly. I just do not want to print it like this. So I am going to say here result.set. I want to take this value of kilometer. Okay, so let's see if the F string works on this one or not. Okay, so I'm gonna say result.set. I'm gonna say kilometer, and the string kilometer converted. Or I'll just say equals to. So this I'm calculating, so I'll put it in the curly brace. I'm gonna say miles. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna run this. And I'm gonna say, let's say 23, calculate, and it is saying 23 kilometer is 14.2922 miles. Okay. Now again, if you want to round it to 2 decimal places, you know how to do it, right? You can use a format. So let's see here. I'm gonna use it. Either I can do it here or I can do it here. So herein, I'm gonna say, because it's converting into miles. Okay, I do not have to do this. I'm gonna say format, and I'm gonna use miles, point to F. Okay, if you want it to the 3 decimal places, you can do that as well. And did I close all the braces? Yes. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna say 23, calculate, and it is saying 23 kilometers equals to 14.29 miles. Okay, let's verify it with our Google Calendar. So herein, I'm gonna say 23 equals to 14.29 miles. Right. So my application is working fine, right? And again, if you want to change the title of the window, there is one more attribute here that we can do. We can say self dot, okay, main underscore window dot title. And I'm gonna say kilometer to miles converter. Okay, and let's see. So I'm gonna run this and see here, it is now displaying kilometer to miles converter, right? So again, let's see, 1 kilometer, calculate 1 kilometer is equals to 0.62 miles. And my application is looking good, it is working fine. So I hope you enjoy creating this graphical user interface, right? Okay, so now we're going to learn how to make use of the radio buttons, okay? And we are also going to learn notebooks. So we're going to see how to display it in a different frames or how we can make use of radio buttons, okay? So let's see. And okay. Now radio buttons lets you to choose one option out of many options, right? So let's see how to create it. So I'm gonna go File, New File, and again I'm gonna import tkinter. So I'm gonna import tkinter, okay, and I'm gonna say class. Let's say I'll use the same class GUI. You can give any name to the class, okay? So create the main window first. So first task, create the main window. Okay, and I'm gonna say self dot, no, because I need a constructor. I am using a class here, so I'm gonna make a constructor here. So I'm gonna say def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Okay, and let's create a main window. Oh, I'm not sure why did I deleted it, but yeah, okay. I just did not want it comment. So underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Okay. And then create a main window. So I'm gonna say self dot main underscore window equals to main window equals to tkinter dot tk. Again, T uppercase, K lowercase. Okay. Now we are going to create radio buttons. So first, when you create radio buttons, first thing that you should know about radio buttons that you can select one value at a time, right? So you have to create a variable that can store the value of the radio button which is being clicked by the user. Okay, so if the user clicked the first radio button, second radio button, or the third radio button, something like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say self. For that, we create an variable object to use with the radio button. So what do we do for that? We create a variable object. Create a true. Okay, create a variable object to use with the radio button. To use with the radio buttons. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna write it as self dot radio underscore var equals to tkinter dot int variable. Okay, int variable. Now if you'll see, I is uppercase, V is uppercase. Okay, it is same as the string variable that we have created in the last code. Now again, self, and I'm going to give some value. I'm just going to set the, when the radio button appears on the screen, let's initialize the first variable. Okay, let's say the first one is selected. So I'm going to say dot set first one. Okay, now let's create the radio button. You're going to create it the same way we create buttons. So RB1 equals to, I'm going to say tkinter dot radio button. So tkinter dot radio button, where do you want to keep it? I'm going to put it in the self underscore main window. Okay, and the text that you want to display. So I'm gonna say that I want to display option 1. Okay, now this is the thing that you should be remembering. In labels, it was text variable that stores the dynamic value of the text, right, of the label. So herein we use variable. Okay, okay. So again, herein we're going to use variable equals to the name of the variable, which is this one. Okay, self dot radio variables. I'm going to put it over here. Okay, let me put it on the next line. Okay, now this put it on the next line is optional. Okay, because I want you to see the complete code. I am putting it on the next line. You can put it just on the one line as well. Okay, so in Python, to put it on the next line, we use the slash symbol. Okay, so that your interpreter does not take it as an error. Okay, and value, I'm gonna say the first option's value is 1. Okay, and I'm gonna copy this. Okay, everything okay, yeah. Okay, so second radio button. Okay, and I'm gonna say the text that will be displayed on it will be option 2 and the value will be 2. Okay, and same thing goes for the third radio button, and I'm gonna name it as self.rb3 and option is 3 and value equals to 3. Okay, now you have to place it on the grid, right? So either you just do the grid here below this, or you can just define the labels and do the grid. So I'm gonna say self.rb1.grid, and I'm gonna say column UMN equals to 1 and the row equals to 1. Okay, sticky, I'm gonna say takinter dot east and pad x and pad y. So I'm gonna say pad x equals to 10, pad x, pad y equals to 10. You can give any value for pad x and pad y, right? Play around with it. If you really want to learn and understand the use of it, make the change and play around with it. So again, the second radio button, I'm gonna put it in row 2 and column 1. So row 2, column 1, and rest of the thing remains the same. And herein, again, row 3 and column 1, uh, rest of the thing remains the same. Okay, and as I said, when you write all this code, you have to display the things, the GUI on your window. So for that, we write it as tkinter.main loop. Okay, so I'm done with my code here, but now how will you determine which radio button is being clicked? For that, I'm gonna write a function. So show choice, okay, and I'm gonna say self, okay, okay, and let's write this function. And I'm gonna just display it on a message box. You can, display it in the window itself, but I'm just gonna display it with on a message box. So I'm gonna say takinter dot message box dot show info. I'm just gonna show you, how it will just print the selected radio button, okay, whichever video button is being selected. So I'm gonna say the window name, the name of that pop-up window is selection, okay, or the title. And I'm gonna say you selected. So the value of the radio button, whichever is being selected, will be determined by a get keyword, okay, or by a get function. It is same as like how we were determining what was the value which the user has typed it in the entry field, okay. So this would work something similar to that, okay. So herein, to find out that value that the user has entered, I'm gonna say self dot, and this variable is storing that value, right? Radio var. So I'm gonna say self dot radio var dot get. Okay, so whenever you have to retrieve a value, you use this keyword the dot get. Okay, widget name dot get. Okay, now I want to call this function when I click on a button. Okay, so I will have to create a button for that. So let's create a button. So I'm going to say sub.bdn equals to tkinter dot button, and I'm going to place it in the main window, and I'm going to text on that button as okay or select. Okay, and I'm going to use the same font. So okay, I am not using any font or something. So I'll go here, I'll copy that from here. And let's put it over here everywhere. So here on, I'm going to use this font. Here on, I'm going to use the same font in radio button 2 and the same font in radio button 3. Okay, so font you specify it where you create the buttons. Okay, you don't specify in grid. So this, and I'm going to use the same font here. Okay, and you remember when you have to call a function, what did you do? You use command, right? Now, which function do I want to call? I want to call the function show choice, right? So I'm going to say show underscore choice. So when you click on that button, this function show choice, which is written over here, will be called. Okay, now I'm going to show you one more thing. Okay, let's first grid it. So I'm going to say self dot btn dot grid, and I'm going to say column 1, row, I'm going to take row 4 sticky. I want to put it in the east, so I'm going to say stick into not east but the west. Okay, and then I'm going to use the pad x 10 comma pad y equals to 10. Okay, now I'm going to create one more button whose name will be quit. Okay, and if the user clicks on that button, what should happen is the application should quit. Okay, so I'm going to say self dot, I'm going to name it as btn2. Okay, so I'm going to name it as btn2, and text I'm going to write it as quit or cancel. Okay, now if you want the window to destroy itself, what you can write in the command here is you can write command equals to self dot the window that you want to destroy. So I want to destroy the main window, so I'm going to say self dot main window dot destroy. Okay, now let's see how does my application look like. I created 3 radio buttons, I created 2 buttons, and btn2.grid I have to change it, so I'm going to say it as in the row 5. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, it is not running because I did not created the object of this class. So I'm going to create an object of this class. I'm going to say my GUI equals to GUI. Okay, now let's run this code. Okay, it looks like this. The issue is option 1, option 2 is not displayed properly, and the window size is not displayed properly because I did not define the geometry. So I'm going to define the geometry here. So I'm going to say dot main window dot geometry. So self dot main window dot geometry. Okay, and let's put the height and the width. So I'll say the width is 300 times the height is, let's say, 300. Okay, And let's put the title as well. So self dot main window dot title, and I'll just say radio button for now. Okay. And one more thing that I noticed is it was not showing option 2. So let's see why. So this is my radio button, column 1, row 1, column 1, row 2, column 1, row 3. Right, button is column 1, row 4, column 1, row 5. Okay, everything looks good. Let's run this. Okay, it is still not printing it. Okay, let's see why. Something is wrong because of which it is not printing. So this was option 1, this is option 2. Okay, now if option 1, option 2, and option 3. Okay, one value is 2 and value is 3. And that's correct. So value 1, value 2, and value 3, option 1, option 2, option 3. Okay, what is wrong? Radio where dot set 1. Okay, integer variable, everything looks correct. Let's see, row 1, column 1, row 1, self dot text is equals to option 1, variable this, value is equals to 1, and font is this. Variable is self dot radio underscore var, and then value equals to 2. Variable is self dot radio value is equals to 3. Font is this one. Okay, it looks good. This is column 1, row 1. And oh, okay. So here, and instead of self dot RB2, radio button 2, I wrote it as RB1. Okay, so I forgot to change it to RB2 dot grid, right? And same thing goes for RB3. So let's see, RB1, RB2. Okay, and I put RB1 grid, RB2 grid. I created RB3 and then RB3 dot grid. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna run this. And yeah, it is displaying properly now. So here run, let's say, see, initially option 1 was selected, right? And if you'll see, you were able to select only one option out of 3, okay? So if I'll select option 2, and I'll click on OK, it is saying you selected 2, okay? Or option 2, right? Similarly, if I'll select any other option and click OK, it is going to say you selected option 3, right? And what does this quit do? The quit will quit the application. So if I'll click on this quit, see the application is quit. Okay, that's how the radio button works. And same way your check button works. Okay, so you're gonna, instead of this radio button, you're gonna write it as check button. Okay, so that's how the GUIs are being created. And I hope you enjoy creating graphical user interface. And as I always say, happy coding. Thank you.